Well, the day is finally here, October 29th, and the RTX 3070 is now finally available for the public. In this video, I'm going to review this EVGA RTX 3070 XC3 Black Edition and its gaming performance. But before that, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe down below, and thank you for watching. Alright, so before I get into this video here, I'd like to ask everyone for a small favor. Please go ahead and hit the like button down below. It really helps to grow the channel and I really appreciate it. Also, if you're looking for the most accurate, best possible gaming benchmark results, then you come to the right channel. Alright, so let's begin here. As you can see, this is the EVGA RTX 3070 XC3 version of the RTX 3070, and the specs are as followed here. This card features PCI Express 4.0, boost clock 1770 MHz, CUDA cores 5888, effective memory clock 14,000 MHz, memory size 8 GB, memory interface 256-bit, memory type GDDR6, and it does support HDMI 2.1 as well as 3 display ports 1.4A, and max resolution is 8K. Now this particular card does require you to have a 650 watt power supply or greater, and it does require 2 8-pin connections. So my advice to you guys out there, if you're gonna get something nice like this, definitely don't cheap out on your power supply, because that's a very key component in your build. Now let me go over this experience of buying this card and why I've chosen this card. So I must say that this time Nvidia nailed it, at least where I've got it, and I was lucky enough to be close to a Micro Center, and yes, today I was actually able to walk right in and pick it up. I mean, they had hundreds of these RTXs. Not only this version, they had a total of 5 different versions. Now this, in my opinion, is the best bang for your buck. It retails for $529, so it's $30 more than the Founders Edition. But I really wanted something with 3 fans, and I'm kind of weary about that 12-pin connection or so. So this card only requires 2 8-pin connections, which you definitely need a pretty nice power supply, but it's just normal 8-pin connections, and from what I understand, the cooling on this is phenomenal. I mean, you could see the heat pipes going right through this thing, so this thing should be like a really easy setup and no issues at all. This is pretty much what it came with in the box. Nothing really at all, no adapters, nothing. As you could see, just the card, which is has plastic wrap in front of it, and has some little installation guide right there, and just the box. There's no other additional stuff. I don't see any stickers or any other adapters or something like that. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the card. So now I'm gonna jump into my rig and show you what I'll be using to test out this graphics card. So stay tuned for that. Alright, so this is pretty much what the graphics card looks like inside of a case. As you can see, it has a little RGB action going with the EVGA logo blinking. Nothing too over the top. I think it looks really professional. It actually matches with my the cooler up on top. I like it a lot. Also, one thing that you do notice is that this card does not have a back plate, but it has something new. This is something new with the 3000 series. On the back plate, towards the right side, closer to the power connectors, there's a bunch of cutouts through the back plate, which allows the air to just pass right through for that better cooling. And you know, that's something you know, like I said, I've never seen before, and I think that's a really good idea. And like I said, this card runs nice and quiet and cool. I'm very happy so far with this card, and yeah, I definitely recommend it. So let me go over the rest of this rig here that I'm going to be using to test out some games. So what I have here is my best rig available, which consists of the 9900K platform, and I think that's more than enough to test out this graphics card. Let me just go over quickly about the specs, not too much into depth. I'll also have the full specs down in the description. So yes, it's a 9900K, currently clocked to 5 gigahertz, and it's still, I'm not 100% sure when I get into the gaming to see if I'm going to run it with the hyper-thread on or off. It depends which are going to be the better results for me, and then of course I'll let you know as I am going through the gaming benchmarks with you. Next is the motherboard, is the Asus Prime Z390 A series. This is a very nice motherboard, has a lot of RGB action going on. It even came with a nice little heatsink for the M.2 on the bottom. Next, I'm using a Corsair Vengeance 3200 megahertz 16 gig RGB kit. They are CL16s. Really nice for this build here. And for the power supply, I have a Rosewill 1200 watt Platinum fully modular power supply. Now I know it's overkill for this build, but this is my primary personal rig for myself, and I didn't want to, you know, cheap out on the power supply. So I know it's a bit overkill, but definitely enough power here to fully test this card out. And of course, I will be overclocking this card. So when I am doing my gaming test benchmarks, I will have this card overclocked. I will let you know what are the final clock numbers and how much or so, as I am getting into the first game that I'm going to test out. And you know, like I said, I'll go into depth in another video of this whole build here, but I'll leave some details in the description down below. I definitely feel like the 9900K is more than capable of handling this card and trying to squeeze the most possible performance out of it. So before I get into some gaming test benchmarks, which I usually do around 4 or 5 in my videos, I want to also let you know that after this review here, I'll be also posting multiple separate videos on single games that I'll be testing out throughout this week with this new graphics card, to pretty much just, you know, get all the information on all the games out there, as many as I can. Do my best to show you, you know, the performance with other games with the setup. So without further ado, let's get into those gaming test benchmarks. So stay tuned. Alright, so the first game I'm going to test out is Battlefield 5. Let me show you the settings first. We're going to do 1080p, full screen, everything maxed out on Ultra. And then I'm going to jump into 4K. Now let's take a look here. So once again, the processor is overclocked to 5 gigs, as you could see, and I do have the hyper-thread disabled after all. I was tend to get better results, slightly a little bit better FPS with that. And the RTX 3070 is slightly overclocked by 100 megs on the core and 300 megs on the memory clock. And once again, 16 gigs of DDR4 RAM running at 3200 megahertz. Okay. There you have it. So as you can see, we're doing pretty good, averaging around 180. That's something to expect from a card like this. That was a close one. Let's regroup a little bit. So yeah, as you could see on 1080p, this thing is really rocking on ultra settings. Definitely happy with the results here. Looks like pretty much neck and neck with a RTX 2080 Ti. Alright, now let's jump into the 4K resolution. Okay, and here we are on 4K once again, on the same settings, ultra all the way down. It looks like we're averaging around 90 FPS, which sounds to be just right. Okay, well, there you have it. As you could see, the 4K, we're getting around 90 FPS on average, which is just about the same that I would usually get with the RTX 2080 Ti, but at less than half the price. So let's move on to the next game. Alright, so the next game here is Gears 5. Let's take a look at the settings. We are on Ultra preset, 1080p full screen, VSync off, every option on Ultra except we have the motion blur off. And here we continue to have a similar trend, pretty much on par with the RTX 2080 Ti, but at much less price, less than half. I mean, I'm totally satisfied with this card. And if you're just tuning in, I do have the RTX overclocked by 100 megs on the core, 300 megs on the memory clock, which is like the most basic overclock you could do on any of these modern graphics cards without hurting or anything else. And we are running the 9900K at 5 gigs with hyperthread disabled to get the best possible results, to get these FPS. You may notice that the temperatures are pretty crazy right now. They're jumping all over. It seems like one of the cores is running pretty hot. I gotta check my fans, but that's not holding back the performance here at all. And that's gonna just remain for the rest of this video.
Remember, Big Low Sparrow site is hatched. We're gonna be waist deep in swarm.
One hell of a way to come back to Azura.
Yeah, but we get those. Hey, get back! Oh shit!
Again, if you do everything right, you have a good platform. That's the kind of FPS you could expect on 1080p on ultra settings. It's pretty amazing for this price. It really is. This is maybe the best, one of the best years for technology ever. So excited for the holidays.
My father, Before he died, he let Baird in on a few COG secrets. And this island.
Alright, now let's jump into the 4K. We're gonna leave everything the same. Again, we're on Ultra with motion blur disabled. There it is. Okay, here we are, all reset here now. We are on 4K Ultra, looking good.
Hey, over there. It'll be useful. Hey, fetch.
Didn't expect there'd still be bodies. Only a handful of us made it off Zero alive.
Gotta cut through. Okay, let's go.
I really wish I could get my hands on the 3080 to really see what it could do. But, you know, those are really tough to get. And once again, on this launch date, at least in the store that I went, they had hundreds and pallets of this stuff. It was amazing. I really give it up to the Micro Center, the local Micro Center. They really handle everything like professionals. They were getting people in and out for this graphics card. It was amazing. Really good spot.
I'll take care of this one.
Alright, now we're gonna get a little action scene.
Hey, let's put him down!
Get into cover!
High ground on the left! Flank up!
More drones!
Nice. Alright. That'll do it for Gears of 5. On to the next game. And here we have Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Definitely a great game to test on your newly built hardware. And as usual, we're going to be on 1080p. As you can see, 1080p full screen. And we are on the highest preset with motion blur turned off. And let's see what we got here. Okay.
Doctor, son muchos de sus hombres.
Can never be too safe. You're very gracious. Thank you. We should go.
Yeah, this is Commander Rourke. Dominguez wants confirmation Croft is here. You have the photo. Female, Caucasian, early 20s. You got that? Well, they'll find her.
Hey, get out of my office.
Sorry.
Close the door when you leave.
Right.
Don't worry. Go. Hey.
The readings at the site are unlike anything we've ever seen.
It's the key to our next phase.
If this is it, we'll be ready.
Jonah, they've entered the dig site. It's fenced off and there's a guard at the gate. I'll find another way in.
I found a good spot. I'll watch the perimeter.
There's got to be more to these ruins. A Maya pyramid inside some sort of cave.
Alright, now let's see what 4K looks like. Once again, we are on the highest preset with motion blur off. And as you can see, this game is running real smooth. Now later on this week, I'm going to post individual videos on a bunch of different games, and I'll try out the DLSS option and the ray tracing option too with different types of games. Just wanted to post this video really quick for you guys to get you an idea of how great this graphics card is. It's really amazing.
Your employment terminated. Please, no. I have money. I can pay you.
It's almost as if Nvidia had to do this because of the new consoles are coming out. They had to make something really like budget worthy. This is a really fantastic card.
Jonah, Trinity just tried to kill a local archaeologist.
Oh, God.
I have to find what they're looking for.
This is Commander Rourke. All teams, get ready for Operation Blackout.
Now I don't have obviously the charts that a lot of people use out there on the reviews compared to the 2080 Ti, but we're pretty much the same performance. In some games a little bit less, in some games a little bit better. You be the judge. But I just really wanted to show you a different perspective here of all the settings that I'm using to get this FPS.
Please show. Got to make my way down.
Alright, well, that wraps it up for this game, and on to the last game. Alright, so I'm going to wrap up this video with Resident Evil 3 Remake, one of my favorite games out there right now. Let's take a look at what we have here. We are using DirectX 12, 1080p, full screen, and we are currently on the max setting. Every option turned up, VSync off, and just the motion blur is off, and that's it. And you could see we're well above the red in there. We're at 12.34 gigs. And the reason I wanted to do the setting is to show you, because that's the setting that I usually would use for the RTX 2080 Ti. But going over the threshold is really not a problem, especially when you have a powerful card like this.
More days, then I can kiss this town goodbye. Hello?
Jill, are you okay?
Brad, is that you?
Listen, you gotta get out of there.
What are you talking about?
I don't have time to explain. You gotta get out of there right now.
Alright, let me grab my... What the hell is that thing?
Well, you definitely see that this card crushes this Resident Evil 3 on max settings. Very, very impressive. Alright, now let's take a look at the 4K resolution as I wrap up this video. Once again, we are on max presets. Looking very nice here. So yeah, that's it for the video. I'm just gonna play this for a few more minutes. Please don't forget to leave any comments down below. Let me know what you think. Do you think this is the best ever $500 card ever made? What do you think? And of course, if you're new to my channel, I really appreciate it if you subscribe. I do post regularly and plenty of content on this channel.
Jill? Over here!
Brad,
You okay?
what was that thing?
Damned if I know. But right now it's got a hard on for the only 2 stars left in town. You and me.